Yeah. Awesome. All right. Welcome, everybody. It is week 50 of 2023, December 14th. Lots of news
Wow.
articles to talk about. Let me see.
Um,
What does this mean? I bring a certain the government hates us and is trying to kill us vibe to social interactions that most people who are blindly following narrative don't really like. We're gonna heart this.
that's
All right.
that's the easy one. I'll look for the other one.
And what's the memes after this? We are really fun at parties. Or let's see. There's this stick figure comic template. Oh, I can't find it this fast, but yeah. Conspiracy theories go really far at cocktail parties. And trying to understand Ross's comment. APAC owners running hard on the politicians. APAC, you mean AIP or Asia Pacific or AIPCA? Which group are we hating on? Just want to clarify.
The Israeli lobby.
Oh, okay, yeah, the AIPCA. Is that the right one? No, no, no. Wait, the American Independent AICP. Oh no, that's the CPA one. Yeah, whatever the super PAC for Israel is. Yeah, okay, cool. And there was some also interesting. Remind me to talk about. Oh, let me just add to the notes. Remind me to talk about in China's Kissinger and Munger feedback. I'll make a little note here. I saw some stuff pop up. So yeah, Kissinger and Munger China feedback. All right, cool. Awesome. All right. Okay, cool. Let's do roll call really quick and see who we got. We got myself, we got Wani, got Ross, got Tommy, Kurt, Larry, and Flavius. Awesome. Welcome, welcome. All the usual suspects. And yeah, ping me if you don't have the notes. But yeah, let's do our quick highlight reel of the week. Idiot of the week is, I love this. It's the Harvard president. Caught plagiarizing like a mofo. And if you guys know your history as well, MLK Jr. was also a major plagiarist and womanizer, among other things. I think Malcolm X should be held in higher esteem than MLK, but that's not my call. But anyway, yeah, I think this is hilarious. And if you guys watched this congresswoman grilling her, it was just epic. Big fan. So anyway, yeah, so we'll go. So that's the idiot of the week.
That's in response to my initial comment, Warren, which is APAC is hiring people left and right to figure out who they can put under the bus because all these
Oh,
institutions.
yeah.
Right, that's the connection, right? Because all these educational institutions
Very culturally dominant. I understand. Yeah.
were trying to say, hey, stop the put a ceasefire and calling out who the real villains are in this theater, right?
Yeah.
They're trying to not trying. They're actually doing this. And that's why I said they are not the donors; they are the owners.
Correct. That legacy community is getting very vocal all of a sudden. Like you can insult white people, you can insult Asian Americans and screw up their emissions, but oh no, not so you cannot talk about pro Hamas comments whatsoever. Not that we're pro Hamas here, but anyway, yeah. So very exciting, and I think about her plagiarism. I think the owners that be I think they definitely knew about this, and they just needed some kind of controlling assets or content to keep the president in line. Or what's her name? Whatever, Miss Gay. Yeah, Claudine Gay. Yeah, it's hilarious.
All right, what's the doctorate in?
Cultural anthropology or something, sociology, communications.
Let's see. Okay.
Let's see.
I expected as much.
One of those. Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Studies.
Oh sweet Jesus. Economics.
Yeah.
And then her dissertation was plagiarized.
What?
Sorry, we're having too much fun here. But yeah, Claudine Gay, yeah. And the woman that she plagiarized off of has become very vocal. Let me find her name for you guys. Was it this? Yeah. Alleged victim. Yeah, whatever. It's just the commies are eating their own. No surprises there. All right, all good. Cool. So let's do the highlight reel really quick for our overview. So we'll talk about the markets and the big FOMC decision. We'll look at some great sentiment data. We'll look at the fear and greed index. We'll take a look at our almanac, of course. And oh, I didn't set the poll, but we'll look at sector rotation, of course. We'll see any last laggards for this earnings season. We'll take a look at what the Robinhood crowd is trading with swaggy stocks. And then we got a lot of news cycle items. Let's just run through the headlines really quick. Obviously, FOMC, the very extreme dovish pivot is just going to light a whirlwind of inflation coming down the pipeline. So that's not fun. But we'll look at, especially the Dow, since it's peaking, we'll look at the Dow measured in something else outside of dollars. And Peter Schiff did a great breakdown, and we'll do the same analysis as well with gold. And Rob Walker and I took a look at this, and we calculated the annual increase. It's only 3.8% since Home Alone came out in 1990. But yes, relatively speaking, it is up 250% if you look at today's prices. And then besides that, we'll look at the international markets and see how the overseas bond committees are looking at us and our Fed decisions. Lots of domestic news as well. We'll get into some fun stuff. But I really want to look at the, oh yeah, PPI index came out. CPI index came out as well. We'll look at the travel sector as well in a bit. And then there's some local shenanigans happening now that we're done with the APEC meeting in San Francisco. Just want to take a look at that. And then there's also shenanigans happening in New York, but we haven't talked about Chicago's illegal prom in a bit. We'll take a look at this video here, which is kind of good. And then I noticed there was a firearms and ammunition ban for exports, and we'll talk about that briefly. We'll look at the youth a little bit and talk briefly about teenage prostitution, basically. And we'll look at
Georgia. Yeah, that was a big one.
Yeah, among other things. Yeah, so we'll talk about that for a second and what the trade is. We'll look at real estate, of course. Residential rents are coming down, looks like. And then we'll also take a look at, I placed this in the wrong area.
This was today.
But yeah, we'll look at post Munger's stuff. And then I realized Munger has his own fund called Daily Journal. And I was looking at their holdings, so we'll take a look at that. This is more Munger than Berkshire Hathaway and less of Warren Buffett's input. But we'll take a look at that. And then Buffett's dumping HP like a mofo, so he's been doing that since September. And we'll take a look at that a little bit closer. And then let's look at the Cybertruck. It's having some shenanigans. Ford is having a great shitstorm with Tesla, and it's great. So we'll look at that. And then Raytheon's making some interesting weapons in the atmosphere. We'll take a look at that as well. And then we'll look at shenanigans happening at IBM. And what else? C3 AI. Looks like this has become quite the public sham company. And it is just a giant dog and pony show. And they were kind of a competitor to my old job. So we'll talk about that briefly as well. Look at them. And then we'll look at the job market. There's a lot of flux happening in the labor market. So we'll take a look at the major layoffs. And McDonald's is going to be laying off a lot of folks. So we'll see how that shakes up.
Wow.
Hasbro is having a really hard time with making toys. And we'll take a look at that as well. And this is bad news for US consumers and the entire global supply chain behind that. And then Ukraine has a major cyber attack, and it's day 2 already of internet outage and phone outages. And we'll take a look at cybersecurity problems there. And then look at potential trades. So here's 5 obvious stocks, and then these are all having amazing power curves right now. So very elf-esque, y equals 1x slopes over there. All right, and then we'll look at commodities, and Arabica coffee is at so it was something 20-year low in inventories. So we'll take a look at that. And of course, we're not filling up our strategic petroleum reserve. And I was looking across the ocean, and it looks like China only has 40 days worth of oil. So kind of reminds me of the original Japanese Pearl Harbor problem, if you guys vaguely remember that. The real impetus for attacking first was Japan was going to run out of oil. So we'll see if China pulls a similar gambit and rushes the Taiwan Strait a little bit too early. So we'll see what's up. And then there is some kinetic action in Venezuela potentially, and we'll see how that might impact the oil shipping lanes. Yep. And then we'll talk about more China news, of course. The Shanghai Composite is dropping below the 3,000 mark, which is really bad news. We'll look at Chinese spies trying to steal helicopters. And then what else? Xi Jinping visited Shanghai for the first time since 2020. We'll talk about Kissinger and Munger from the Chinese perspective as well. And then China's opening up their visa programs to Germany and top EU countries, because they just finished the EU and China summit in Beijing this week as well, or last week. But yeah, other than that, Shanghai's imploding. We'll take a look at that at a closer level. I got some specifics for that. Lots of folks are pulling out. And despite Xi Jinping's visit for the APEC summit in San Francisco, sitting down with all of the top, losers here, from Larry Fink and beyond, everyone's still pulling out their money. So talk is cheap, and China can't deliver. So end of that. But yeah, lots of local disasters, and we'll look at that in the nitty-gritty as well. And we'll talk about the Taiwan election coming up. It is officially 29 days left. January 13th is the election itself. And I've been trying to catch up with the Taiwanese political scene and trying to understand what's going on there. So I'll give you guys a nice summary. And that's about it. And I need to set up the trade of the week templates. I need to copy Massey's thing. I asked him nicely to send me the template, but I haven't gotten it yet. So we'll see. But yeah, we'll build that up. Cool. So that's today's highlight reel. So let's get into the weeds. We got some chat comments. Let's see. We got rate cuts, naughty nice on a government watch list. Yep. Let's see. Ross has a question for Flav on T-bills. Would love to. Well, yeah, we'll talk about that when we get to that section. And we got an article from Wani. Let's see, what's this? Moody's staff. Oh, yeah. Everyone going to China because of their very vague anti-foreigner and espionage laws. Everyone's encouraged to bring disposable electronics to China, because you might have search and seizures and detainment and all kinds of shenanigans. And I believe the first company to go down with that was what, Bain & Company?
Yeah, but the same thing can happen to you if you come back into the States.
Correct. And what's the which CFO did we arrest, or was in Canada we extradited to US? Was it Huawei?
Well, yeah.
The Huawei CFO.
That lady, yeah.
This lady. So yeah, this was in the spring. So yeah, it is starting. And then China's wondering, like, why don't we have any international business? It's because shooting your customers and jailing them is kind of bad for business. A bunch of morons. Okay, anyway, cool. So okay, let's run off our topics. We got a meeting this Saturday. We got a legend coming through, and let me get you guys the link. We got Mr. Dave Bernstein, if you've heard of him before. Sorry, Jake Bernstein. My apologies. Let me drop this link in the chat. All right, cool. So Jake Bernstein and Brian Latta, let's see, have developed a new trend indicator, the expansion contrarian indicator. And I'll talk about this and how to build plays off of this. So we'll take a look at that. And yeah, we're asking for a nice donation of $10 for Saturday. If you guys have a hardship clause, let me know and we'll still get you in. But yeah, that's this Saturday at 9 o'clock. And should be very good. Awesome.
Hey, Warren, quick question. I read that his indicator is available on TOS. The contraction, what is that? The expansion contraction indicator?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about this. Maybe Kurt can expand. Is it a licensed?
No, I'll have to search it up and I can get a link. I'll put it in chat. But yeah,
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm unfamiliar with that indicator or study, but yeah.
It's fairly new. He's just been promoting it for about the last year or so.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Have you used it, Kurt?
Yeah, I have at times, but it's just like anything else, it's a new bright shiny play toy, and then it's like, okay, so how do you make it actionable?
Mm-hmm.
And it depends on, it works, but just like everything else, it's a lagging indicator.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And with that, let's do our market overview. And let's scroll down the chain of indexes. So let's start with the S&P 500 family and look at the futures products. And so here's ES. And as you guys know, the market interpreted lowered rates and more rate cuts coming in 2024 as very bullish. Wow. Is this short-sighted? Maybe. But exuberance is exuberance, and the sub-theme, I guess, is don't fight the Fed, right? So looking at the stats on the contract side, so we have a put call ratio of about 1.8. Fair value is typically 1.4, and we're very stacked in the extreme deltas. So yeah, this is probably just basic hedging for the most part. Let's go down to the big boy option contracts, so the SPX side, and see what the other layer of supposed smart money is doing. This is pretty flat as well. Let's see. 1.2, a little bit below where it should be at 1.4, but yeah, still business as usual. Does the sizzle index make sense? Not really, but this is a higher count. It looks like from just at a glance. Okay, let's look at the retail side, and I would expect more optimism here, and that is correct. We're seeing the put call ratio drop below 1, which is very bullish, and the deltas are a lot spread out very evenly. So by extension, if rates go down, cost of capital goes down as with it, and therefore businesses have more innovation in theory. So NASDAQ should be really happy with all of this, and this is reflecting a pretty bullish sentiment as well in the put call ratio. Normally this is like 1.5-ish. And if we look at the chart, the Qs has also been pretty happy with the rate cut, but losing steam at the moment. But no surprises there. If we look at momentum on the bottom left quadrant, there's lots of net buying. So we're seeing lots of steady mounting inflows, which is good for the NASDAQ. Ooh, and the zero line is very far away, and people haven't been at the zero line since Halloween, looks like. All right, but will this change in time? For sure, but yeah. Let's look at the schizophrenic index, which is the Russell 2000. This one loves to overreact, and wow. This is the happiest index, gapping up far more than its cousins. So yes, happy and schizophrenic. And if we go to
the way to play the Russell is TNA, and got a small position that thing is 3x. That thing is flying.
What is it? TME?
TNA.
TNA. What's that?
It's the 3x bull.
Oh, for the Russell.
Oh, wow.
Never heard
Damn,
of it.
Ross, what a smart play. Oh, I wish I thought of that.
Rocketing up.
Oh, duh. If we know it's going to gap up, grab the leverage products and write it to, oh, damn it.
Yeah.
Let me write that down.
If you do the long-term chart, it's not been down here for a while. Last it was down, I think it was during COVID, but after that it's not been down here for a while.
Let me just jot that down. TNA for IWM play. Cool.
3x.
Let's
3x, but be careful.
Yeah.
What kind of volume does it have?
One second. To Ross's point, yeah, it hasn't been down in quite a while. Yeah. So it found, let's see, support. So like pre-Halloween, the week before, yeah, was the bottom, and that parallels the COVID recovery, if anything. So wow, yeah. Oh, so let's look at volume. Sorry, to Wani's question. Let's see. Yeah,
Pretty good.
tens of thousands. Very bullish.
Yeah, that's good.
Weekly contracts. Let's look at tomorrow's expiration. Is the bid ask efficient? Yeah, a couple pennies. It's not penny tight, but that's still really good. 2-3 pennies wide. That's pretty good.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then how is momentum today? Looks like we run out of steam for today, but yeah, it's still lots of inflows on the bottom left quadrant. So yeah, should be more to come. And then I guess the Santa Claus rally is official. You heard it here first. No, I'm kidding. But yeah. And let's pivot to the diamonds and look at the Dow's ETF and see how this index is performing. So this was the setting all-time highs, and yeah, wow. And now we have a beautiful doji or evening star. Here we go. Beautiful. But yeah, lots of inflows, and let's go to the numbers. This is usually outrageously optimistic to begin with, and I'm sure today is no exception. Yep. But the puts are still there too. But yeah, this is usually the most optimistic index, and we affectionately like to call this one the kid that likes to eat glue in the corner, because sometimes it's retarded. And cool. And with that, let's pivot to the VIX really quick. And surprisingly, it's a little bit higher than last week. What was it, 12 last week? This is 12.4. So let's look at this chart. So yeah, okay, lots of dojis, but finally a green candle. All right, so yeah, VIX is at 12. All right, should we go long VIX? We'll consider that later, maybe. Okay, let's see, we got something in the comments. Upstart, SoFi after rate cut hints. Oh, let's take a look at that. Upstart, buy now, pay later. Whoops. Wow. It also gapped up nicely. Okay. And now it's dancing with the 200-day moving average. Perfect. Oh, sorry, 500-day moving average. Yeah, black is the 200-day. And SoFi, let's take a look.
Wow.
Also pacing very nicely. Okay, nice. It's almost in the $10 category, and many of my friends will be ecstatic. Yeah. Okay.
Me too.
Oh, yep. All right. So we got to look at our overview really quick. Oh, we got to look at the dollar, the Dixie. How can we not talk about the Dixie? Okay. All right. So dollar strength took quite a beating. So yeah. And will this be more to come? Maybe. It's almost looks like a nice kind of suckers rally happening here. You know, maybe a dead cat bounce forming. We'll take a look at that. But yeah. So yeah, dollar and bonds, yeah, has a nice interdependent relationship. And in theory, as dollar strength goes down, emerging markets also go up. So if we look at the EEM, which is the emerging markets basket, this should go up, and we're seeing confirmation of that as well. So all the generic theories are holding true. If we look at specific markets, like Brazil, yeah, Brazil is also pacing that very nicely. If we go to
the euro is actually a better index. I know DXY is the dollar index, but the euro isn't corrupted by all of the other currencies. I mean, DXY is a basket, and you have Japanese yen, and you have all these other things.
Oh, I see what you mean.
If you're looking at what's going on with the dollar, most of the people are using the euro.
How do I look up the euro? I've never done that before.
I'm just telling you what most people think.
Oh, okay. Got it. Is there a lookup for the euro on TOS?
6E is the future.
6.
There's an ETF too. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Oh, okay. Here's the euro, I guess. Okay. Trading 1.09.
It doesn't matter. I just, you show DXY all the time and it triggers a little bit of me.
Oh, okay. No, that's a fair point. Yeah. Good to know. Where am I? Oh, okay, yeah. Let's look at sentiment data really quick. And let me plug in the laptop. And this is from our friends at the AAII, the American Association of Individual Investors. If this will load. And I've been cleaning up my tabs. I closed like some 300 tabs since last week. Only like another 1,000 remaining.
I have 3,000.
Oh, okay. Where's my to-do one for all my stock stuff? Oh, okay, that's okay. Okay, why isn't this loading? What the hell's going on? Okay, here we go. Okay. Week ending. Let me drop this in the chat if you guys want to play with this. It's kind of cool. Okay, sentiment for the next 6 months. Let's see. This week, since post rate cut, the bullish contingent has expanded. Surprise, surprise. And the bears are retreating. But if they're smart, they should be waiting. All right. And let's see if there's any more fun historical sentiment data. Let's see. We had a bottom in November. Interesting. Okay. And what was the next one before that? I guess, yeah. Okay. I don't recall what was the bad news in November first. We can always go in our notes, but yeah. Okay. All good there. Let's go to our fear and greed index. Okay. We've watched this number fly all over the place, or at least I look at this every night. So yeah, for most of the spring and summer, it was in the 70s and 80s, and then late summer and fall, it was playing in the 20s and 30s, and now we're back in this happy place. So let's see. Yeah, so we're seeing the S&P fly above its 125-day moving average. Why they like this duration, I'm not sure, but yeah. Let's see. Stock price strength is on the upward side here for highs and lows. And what I really want to look at is stock price breadth. So as a group, I want to see what's happening here. So this is on the ticking upwards, so that's good. We talked about the put and call ratio to def, so we don't have to quite worry about that. But let's look at more historical data. I feel like this 5-day readout is a junk item. But yeah, Y charts has a SPX put call chart, which is a bit better, I think. Okay, let's look at max data. Okay, so this is historically for the SPX. So 1.14 for the put call ratio here in terms of bearishness versus bullishness. And to recap, COVID was pretty bad at 2.38, but we've had worse moments than that before that. But yeah, relative to COVID, we are in very bullish territory, relatively speaking. Okay, so there's no falling knife to catch just yet. So don't short the market, Wani. And let's go back to our notes. Oh, anything else? No, we can skip the rest. Okay, cool. And let's look at the Stock Traders Almanac. And I didn't paste it into this. Let me go back to Trading Week 49. Here we go. And steal it from here. Okay. Copy image. So that means the PDF I posted earlier for the notes is already slightly behind. So, but yeah, I'll upload this when our session's done, so you guys have this. Okay. And our almanac has a nice Russell 2000 component, and we'll take a look at that. All right, cool. So December almanac historical data says it is typically number 3 for the S&P and Dow since 1950, number 4 for the NASDAQ. 2018 was the worst December since 31. Free lunch served on Wall Street. before Christmas. Out of curiosity, what is in a free lunch? Free lunch, Wall Street, Christmas. Just curious, what is the free lunch? And it is Taco Thursday. What's the lunch? Oh, they don't say anything. Damn it. Okay, whatever. Okay, if anyone finds out, let me know. Small caps start to outperform larger caps near the middle of the month. And let's see, we're right there. Let's go back to the Russell 2000. Okay. And are we outperforming? What's the fastest way to do this? Let me think. Oh, we'll use Google Finance to do the heavy lifting. So let's do SPY stock versus IWM stock. Let's see which month is bigger. So S&P up 4.64% for the last 30 days. Russell 2000, 10%. Oh, wow, 2x. So Stock Traders Almanac, you win again. Okay, so small caps start to outperform larger caps near the middle of the month. So we're just at the middle. We're just starting the middle of the month. So this trend might continue nicely. So yeah, awesome. And now that we know the Santa Claus rally is officially underway, we're all happy about that. Blah, blah, blah. 1998 was the best fourth quarter. Fourth quarter expiration week is the most bullish triple witching week. And with a major FOMC decision like this week's, this will be the happiest triple witching week in like human history, probably. All right, cool. So that's December for you. This is hitting pretty good, looks like, overall. And let's take a look down the rabbit hole and look at January. January's barometer predicts the year's course of a 0.743 batting average. 14 of the last 17 post-presidential election years followed January's direction. Every down January in the S&P since 1950, without exception, preceded a new or extended bear market, or a flat market, or a 10% correction. S&P gains for January of the first 5 days preceded full year gains 82.2% of the time. And November, December, January constitute the year's best 3-month span. January NASDAQ powerful 2.8% since 1971. January effect now starts in mid-December and favors small cap stocks. 2009 has a dubious honor of the worst S&P 500 January on record. Dow gained more than 1,000 points in 2018 and 2019. Okay, so we're seeing a very nice tie over into January, and we should see continued improvement of the Russell 2000. So we'll keep our eye on that. And let's see, we got a bunch of comments in the chat. Do we have Massey? Oh my God, Massey's here. What's up? Welcome, welcome. Let's see what else we got. Hey, an enterprise guy meetups on Sundays. Now he charges. Wait, what? Ross, do you want to talk about your KAE guy? K?
No, I thought some folks here attend this guy's meetup, who also does something similar to what you're doing here, right? Which is industry review and stocks, and he goes into certain themes and whatnot. So I think recently I think he went down to once a month, and now he's restarted his every Sunday, but then I think he's charging now.
Oh, is there a link?
On Meetup, yeah, or just go to enterpriseguide.com/events and you'll see the link.
Wait, so I should be charging you, mofos? Hint, hint. Subscribe to my newsletter. Silicon Valley Investment Club.
Ooh, Silicon Valley. Using your name, our name.
Do they need an AV guy? Wow, they charge for this. That's hilarious. And we talk. We have a better review of the key indicators, I think.
What do they do? What does this club do?
I'm not sure, but here I'll drop the link in the chat if you guys want to play with it. Report back.
It's similar stuff like what we do here, right? They start about start with the markets, start with certain stocks he's following,
Oh, okay.
market events, market. I think he focuses more on macro now than he used to before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
But then he goes into themes like AI and looks at companies,
Oh, okay.
balance sheets and whatnot, and stuff like that.
Oh, he's Vietnamese, minus 10 points.
Vietnamese, yeah.
Sorry, I grew up in Saturday. Don't worry, don't worry.
Ross,
Oh,
are you
just-
part
just-
of the club? Are you part
It's-
of his club?
I used to be when it was not charged, and now
Oh.
I'm like, okay, but it's $10 a month. It's not a big deal.
The market can bear it. All right, I need to charge for this meeting. No worries. This is cool.
So we can have free lunches.
Free lunches. At least Warren will cook you guys ribeyes. And what is this other thing? Chicago anti-immigrant situation. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, Chicago. I got some good video guys for some good video footage for you guys for the Chicago situation. Holy shit. This is there's a bunch of Shriners in the background. If you guys know what that is, it's adjacent to the Masons. They're all Freemasons, but the Shriners is more of a I just didn't know there was a black Shriner group or the Shriners look like this. We have this hat that looks like yeah.
And they're the guys with the little cars.
Yeah, and they're big into the Shriners, like children's hospitals, and in the East Coast they have like the circuses and like the Barnum and Bailey clones and whatnot. I mean, I'm not thrilled with like animals and circuses, but I think they do it in a lot more humane fashion. But yeah, so interesting that showed up. Yeah, and then what's the other thing from Tommy? China CPU.
It's in the news today. It's
cool
news. And it's Cyrix. It's not China. This is the old Cyrix team.
Okay.
From 20 years ago, basically.
Okay. And I've seen intel for the latest Huawei stuff. Not only are they leftover TSM chips, but there's also a bunch of Korean chips that were snuck into production. So I think effectively all of Huawei's 7nm chips are gone and they're out of stock of their own native production. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. And then NASDAQ trying to dump pre-FOMC levels. Did Massey peace out? Oh yeah, I think it's just popping in. All right. Oh, we got Michael from Oregon. Welcome. And we got Mr. Min from UCSF on the north side. Welcome all. Oh, let me upload the notes really quick. This is the partial one, but you guys can follow along. Drop in the chat. It's uploading. Okay, give it a second. And what else? We're talking natural gas. Oh yeah, the Widowmaker. Yeah.
So $2.20 is a big advantage to traders if you know how to trade the bottom of things, because it's $2 is basically the floor price.
How would you trade this, Dave?
Well, the simplest thing is it's not going to go any lower than $2.
So just go long.
And let's see if the buying public agrees. Today's stats. Good mixed bag. But yes, this is affectionately called the Widowmaker. And let's see the expected move. Let's see, by year end, the expected move is 50 cents. One standard deviation, 0.50. Okay. So 2.2 plus 50. Oh, sorry. This is the expected move on this on UNG.
Yeah, that's
a little different from the natural gas price, but yeah,
slash NG is the natural gas.
Slash NG. There we go. Okay, here would be a little bit more accurate. Okay, yeah. Okay.
So it gives you an opportunity to do calendars and a whole bunch of other things.
I see what you mean. Right, with the floor price.
And it really is a floor price. I mean, it's dropped a few times in my lifespan below $1. I mean, it got to $1.90 a couple of times in the last 10 years.
All
Mhm.
right.
And it was always tradable. I mean, it was huge trades. You know, you can
So mhm. So Dave, you would do like calendar spreads on NG?
well, so natural gas is seasonal, and
Mhm.
it gives you an opportunity to say, oh well, in 6 months this is like the big month, and now it's priced completely wrong, and you can do fancy stuff. It takes a little more thinking. I can't just simply explain it. We'd
Mhm.
have to look at, you know, the contract is there's a new contract that expires every month, just like oil. So
Mhm.
I think that's really helpful though. I do like your hypothesis a lot since you do have a floor price. Yeah. And then
yeah,
you can run calendars, diagonals, like whatever you want, and just sell everything. Sell time, sell volatility, like go to town. All right, cool. So let's look at the oh sorry, where am I in our in our agenda? Okay, so we talked about that. I don't have the poll set up. Sorry, we'll do that next time. Yeah, let's do sector rotation. All right, so here's the 11 subsectors that make up the S&P family. And
oh, that's big today. That's
oh,
much bigger than last week.
that's what she said. Okay, so let's see. Here's XLE, the energy and oil subsector. This is collapsing, but I think this will recover quickly with all the geopolitical risk we have happening. And on this, let's sort the table view really quick. So slightly stale data from the 11th, but let's take a look. Real estate's up, financials, what's not up? Energy, communication stocks, consumer staples. Okay, no surprises there. And how bad is XLE? What's it at? Well, way too many lines. 84. Okay. All right. But yeah, let's see what else we can glean from this. Yeah, I think this is slightly stale data again, but yeah, I think XLK will prove to be the sector leader here. So yeah, this is analogous to the Nasdaq. So basically all the tech stocks are here. And just for our sanity, let's check what the weighting is for XLK really quick. I'm not sure we haven't looked at this in a while. Let's see if its composition has changed. Okay, so it looks like it has slightly. So Microsoft is the largest component now, followed by Apple, Broadcom, Nvidia. Shouldn't Nvidia be like top 3, not number 4? But anyway, Adobe, really? Salesforce, AMD, ACN, Cisco, INTC. This fund manager is smoking something. Ugh. Okay, anyway, all right. Questions, comments? If not, we can run our favorite tickers. Got our last couple saved. Feel free to drop your tickers and we can throw it into the quadrants here and see how everything shakes up. But just at a glance here, we got US Steel not doing well, Upstart flying upwards. And if we go back to the charts, the buy now, pay later stock is definitely having a good time. So yeah, it's just broken through its 500-day moving average and closed above it. So yeah, pretty good for a recovery. NEO is the #1 loser. Yay, congratulations, Shanghai.
No.
Someone
No.
wanting a box of tissues. Baidu's not having a good time. Ford, GM, CWeb, KWeb, Tesla, natural gas here, UNG, so beware of the Widowmaker. Let's see. Anything you guys want to add here? Let's see the chat.
Lyft.
Lyft? Okay.
LYFT.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
Lyft flew.
yeah, and then Jason, the gentleman from the Tuesday's hangout, he was talking a lot about Uber, which is doing really
Uber,
well.
yeah.
Yeah, so let's take a look at
And
that.
Robinhood too.
Oh, let's drop
doing
some
really
Hood in
well.
there. Hood for sure.
Hood, yeah.
Okay.
it's 10:50. Just so you know that you're running way behind.
Oh, yeah. Damn, Warren. Okay, sorry. Having too much fun here. Okay, let's speed up a little bit. Where is Lyft? Lyft is number 2. Wow. Hood's doing really well.
Yeah.
Uber's also doing really well. I didn't know Lyft was doing better. Okay. Wow.
Yeah. Lyft went from about 9 a month or so ago.
Okay.
Because
Check
I've
out
been
the
trading
market's
it.
dumping right now.
Market
Yeah.
is dumping right now.
Market dumping.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Oh, beautiful. Oh,
I-
thank God.
I got out of my SPY already.
Okay. Well, that was
I
a
already
nice
got
board
out.
play for like 2 days. Oh, let me add Ross's.
Ooh, Q's drop. No. Mhm.
Okay, TQQ, FTAI. Let me add this in for you. We've got a firm, upstart, TNA. Maybe it's the kid in me, but TNA, when I see TNA, I think what is it? Tits and ass? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, we got to throw in Rick's Cabaret, our strip club IPO.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Rick's right here. Okay, strip club. Here's Upstart. Affirm is doing really well. Here's
Ooh,
FTAI. Where's the other one? Oh, too much stuff here. Let's go to the table view.
What's FTAI?
I'm not sure.
Aviation.
FTA transportation. I'm not sure.
So
But
FTAI provides aftermarket parts for aircraft.
oh,
The
that's
market
cool.
parts.
Aftermarket
Whoa.
parts. So
Look
is
at
this the
look at
AutoZone of
chart.
airplanes?
You could say that. Well, I don't know. They are parts supplier. I don't know if they have. I don't know if they are a marketplace, but they are
Okay.
manufacturers and suppliers of parts.
Okay,
So
this is cool.
if you have a Cessna or
Yeah,
plane like that in your backyard, and you want parts, you go to FTAI to pick up the parts.
I was looking
Mm.
at airplane build kits, interestingly enough, this week. So yeah, and then
For
if we
which, for which you don't need license to fly. Yeah.
correct, yeah, all kinds of stuff. And then in the back of our mind, we should keep in mind that this Thanksgiving week was the biggest traveling week, even including pre-COVID history. And we're lining up for this also be the biggest Christmas season for traveling. So in theory, since FTAI is doing so well, the travel sector should also pace this somewhat, right? So let's look at jets. And why this is highly cyclical, obviously, it is on an upswing, it looks like. It's breaking past its 200-day and 500-day moving average here. So, and the biggest carrier is what? Delta?
UAL.
UAL?
UAL or Delta.
Yeah, I keep forgetting who's who, but yeah. So yeah, we are seeing upswing, and maybe this will be part of the Santa Claus rally for a nice travel shortish boom. All right, cool.
Also look at the Boeing. They're
Boeing.
also flying.
Yeah, Boeing. Boeing's a nice, interesting conglomerate of all kinds. Oh my God,
Wow.
that's
Is it up?
ridiculous.
Whoa.
That's like
What's the big? That's daily. Oh, one
That's
year.
a,
Yeah, I got it.
1 year
that's like a
daily.
V
Yeah.
V
Yeah.
shape. V shape.
This looks like the COVID rally.
That's
V.
amazing.
Wow.
Totally amazing.
And so we have the travel boom here, lots of weapons, beef with Airbus, all kinds of missile defense, all kinds of fun stuff in here. So yeah, let's
They have orders for about 500-600 aircrafts for which they are behind.
Excellent.
Wow.
Okay, anything else interesting from sector rotation? Okay. We can always come back to this. So we got 34 minutes. All right, let's fly. Oh my God, we haven't got to the news articles. Oh my God. Earnings, we're on the tail end of earnings. Anything big today?
Adobe dropped huge today.
Costco,
And
Adobe,
Costco.
our strip club IPO, Rick's Cabaret. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. And okay, yeah, we gotta speed up a little bit because we have to end at 11:30. Okay. Swaggy stocks. All right, let's glance at what the Robinhood and millennials and Gen Z's trading. All right. So at a glance, not a lot of red. So the sentiment, the comments are pretty positive. Again, this for those that don't know, this is a sentiment analysis scanner for the toxic subreddit of Wall Street Bets. So instead of reading Wall Street Bets, we just want to know what's the sentiment. All right, so everyone's talking about Tesla, Microsoft, the Qs, Apple, Nvidia, Russell 2000. What is this? SoFi, Rivian, Carvana, Meta, AMD. What is this? Moderna, Broadcom, TLT, Pfizer, Alibaba, Oil, Upstart, Corn, Adobe, Wendy's, Gold, and AI. Okay, cool. We know that now. And let's go back to our notes. All right, cool. All right, let's talk news articles. We got a lot to cover. So Pivot is the major one, and let's look at these majorly dovish comments from Powell. So basically, he chickened out, and why can he not raise rates? He's definitely not a Volcker, I guess. But yeah, I mean, long story short, America cannot afford it. So we're at what, $1 trillion in debt service? So yeah, bad news. So let's look at the December dots here. I'm new to this particular layout. But yeah, this was I guess this is the potential schedule here. So 2023, 2024. Okay, sorry, this is horrible resolution. Let me make this a little bit bigger. All right. So here's the potential assessment of appropriate monetary policy, the midpoint of target range for the Fed funds rate. Okay, so
to simplify it, basically they're saying that interest rates won't come down for about 2 years. I mean, they're setting expectations that normalization won't come down until 2026.
Yeah. And as a response, stocks soared, the dollar tanked. Gold is ripping above 2,000. It's 2031 right now. As you can see, silver's at 24. Gold silver ratios ticked up to 84.5. And the 2-year yields exploded downwards, which is a bit concerning. And let's look at the 10 and 2 as well. All right, so let's see. 1 month is at 5.3. 1 year's at 4.9.
It's the fastest rate of yield
collapse for the 2 years since
ever. It has never happened.
Okay, yeah, that sounds about right.
That's over twos. It's been a really huge trade. The TET spread. Tasty Trade talks about it if you ever want to hear about it.
Wait, can you expand on that, Dave? What was that again?
There's a spread, the standard spread that's called 10s over 2s. It's the TUT, TET spread. And Tasty Trade talks about it. You can find videos on it.
Gee, never heard of it.
Well, it's right here on the page that we have a difference of 10s over 2s. You trade a certain ratio of 10s versus the 2s. You buy one and you sell the other. It's a really interesting trade. If you look at the graph, the time value graph for the last 2 years of interest rates, the longer end of the curve has drastically come up, where it was actually like over 1% lower only like 6 months ago. But don't worry about it. I'll put a reference in.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Discord. Yeah. I'll put something in Discord.
Thank you. Okay.
It's been a huge trade. That's the highlight.
Okay. And we're running out of time. We gotta speed up here. So shout out to Peter Schiff. He gave a nice breakdown that if you measure the Dow, which is setting all-time highs, if you measure it in gold, it's not an all-time high at all. The Dow right now is trading about 18 ounces of gold. Like, so 1 share of the Dow is equal to 18 ounces of gold. And the peak was 1999 when it was at 41. So that should give you some historical context. And I think
In 96, gold was like $360.
that too, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a
The-
gold price.
The good old days.
Yep.
Yeah. And this is like this is a logarithmic scale, so it looks not as intense as it really is. But yeah, if we turn this off, it's pretty substantial. Cool. Let's fast forward. Talk about inflation. So this figure is really 3.8% per year since 1990. It's not quite as intense as it looks, but it's still something to have. And oh, here's the tens over twos. Perfect. Thank you very much, Ross, for finding it. Cool. Perfecto. We'll check that out. I am new to this. I mean, I get the concept. I haven't traded it quite like this TUT concept, but
I'll find a graph. It'll
Okay.
make a lot of sense if I show
oh
you
sweet,
it.
yeah. But I get the idea. I like it. Cool. And looking at our central banking cousins, obviously not my cousins, but the Bank of England is also mirroring our central bank statement. So we're seeing, I guess, what's the right word? Everyone is matching the vector set by our Fed, so we'll see more alignment over time. Okay, cool. Let's pivot to domestic news. We've looked at this. I remember showing this like 2 years ago. This is the third most spoken language in every state, which is always interesting. So after English and Spanish, what is the default? And this has changed a little bit from like 3, 4, 5 years ago when I first discovered this concept. But yeah, it's Chinese in California. It used to,
Nevada, that's some sort of
yeah, Tagalog here.
I think
Yeah.
that's Philippines.
Yeah, Tagalog, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's the Philippines,
Mhm.
yep. And other noteworthy things, we got the Hmong folks in Minnesota, we got the Somalis in freaking Ohio, French in Vermont, Haitian in Florida, that's interesting, Korean in Georgia,
Wow.
Vietnamese in Texas, that definitely makes sense if you've ever been to Houston. Chinese in Kansas is interesting.
Whoa!
Wow. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
You know, and you got to think about a lot of fracking, a lot of shale oil extractions happening here, and traditional oil wells. But Chinese makes no sense to me. Arabic in Iowa is scary. Polish in the Illinois makes a lot of sense. Got a lot of good German, Dutch, Polish traditions there. And Portuguese in Utah is confusing. I don't know what's going on there. But yeah. Japanese in Hawaii makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
I would think that in California would be like Spanish, but it's Chinese.
Oh no. This is the third
No,
most spoken.
Spanish is number 2.
Oh, besides English and Spanish.
This is number 3.
I see.
This is the third most spoken language.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Please
Chinese,
please,
California.
Please forward that link. I'm very curious.
Oh, this?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, please.
Word finder. Most spoken language. Hola! He's like, he redistributed all my clothes on the floor. Thanks, buddy.
Oh my goodness.
He's picking out your clothes for you.
Yeah, he's like, you won't
Where?
talk to me? All right, I'm gonna rearrange your closet. Where is this? I'm a little tight on time, Alan, but yeah, and I'm sharing it.
Sorry, sorry about that.
Look at
Sorry
this.
about the disruption. Just so at least I know what to look for. I'll
Oh,
look
no
for
worries.
it.
Yeah. Here, let me upload the notes so you have it too. Yeah. Give me 1
Okay,
second.
thank you.
It's in the chat. Don't worry. Cool. Okay, uploading. And then I thought this was fun too. Most sold vehicle by state. So let me expand this a little bit. So Model Y Tesla for California, RAV4 to the north, Dodge Rams to the right of us, Silverados in the Pacific, in the Southwest, lots of Ford trucks in Texas, no surprises there. But yeah, pretty straightforward.
Model Y is hell of expensive.
Yeah,
For me?
tacos in Hawaii.
That's disgusting.
Yeah. Okay, but yeah. Honda Accords would be very dominant here if they did fleet sales, but they don't to protect the resale value. But Toyota doesn't have the same opinion, especially for the Camrys and RAV4s. But yeah, they all sell pretty well. Okay, cool. So that's our state tour. We got 23 minutes to go through like 30 articles, so let's go fast. PPI numbers came out at 3-year lows. The CPI print came out as well. It was like 0.1% hotter than expected. Market rallied. I'm confused, whatever. We hinted about this as well earlier with FTIA, but yes, it will be the biggest traveling season coming up for this Christmas. So the Santa Claus rally will continue, and we looked at our airline stocks briefly earlier. The tech bros are, I mean, this is just, homelessness and poop is back on the downtown streets, in case you were missing that. So nothing to see here. We'll skip this video, but you guys can imagine it is a cluster F in Chicago. So lots of illegal things happening. And what's the NYC mayor? His life is being ripped apart for daring to speak against the ruling narrative. Oh my gosh. Everything's coming out of the woodwork for him. What's his name? I think you guys know what I'm talking about. But anyway, we also have a US ban of firearm exports. And this started back in October, looks like. And there's a 20,000 rifle deal that they're trying to get out to Israel, but folks are pushing back. But we'll see how that goes out. But all right, this CAPTCHA is not playing nicely, but yeah, you guys get the idea. All right, cool. Let's see. Prostitution for teenage girls is becoming a rampant problem. OnlyFans, it's basically like Instagram, but for porn. And there's a subscription aspect to it, and it's pretty bad. It's becoming really popular. Like Instagram was already bad enough, and now this has provided a way to monetize off of that. So it's pretty bad. And
so there's an article about Georgia University that like 60% of the population has done prostitution. It's pretty crazy.
Georgia University.
You probably don't want to waste it.
But yeah, we're gonna fly. Okay, anyway, and then I bring this up because what's the trade, right? Short Bumble, the dating apps. So here's Bumble. This is the box wine and cat food watch list for the ladies. So Bumble's not doing well, obviously. Tinder and its cousins aren't doing well either. Here's Match, the group that owns them. I believe they're also into the pornography world as well. And apparently all the private equity companies that own a lot of porn companies are all in Toronto. It's kind of weird. But yeah, so I just mentioned it, Bumble and Match, good candidates. Pivoting to real estate, rents are declining in Manhattan, and they've had all kinds of problems, from Billionaires Row collapsing to everything. So no sympathy for New York. This is misfiled in the categories here, but anyway, Buffett is investing more in Occidental stock, and let's take a look at that really quick. OXY. This used to be the sector leader for XLE, but it's fallen a little bit out of favor. But yeah, it is at a relatively cheap price on the 1-year scale, and Buffett does like deals and bargains. And we'll take a look at how Munger's philosophy differs a little bit from this guy. So Munger has his own fund called Daily Journal. Interesting name. It only has 4 holdings. Let me show you guys. It's Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Alibaba, and USB. Little random.
It's very bank heavy.
USB, all banks.
Yeah. And
wow.
And Alibaba. Kind of random. It's really confusing. This I don't know, it's just weird to me, but it's real. It's a big fund.
How does it do though? Year to date, like what's the return and all
performance?
That?
That is beyond the 18 minutes I have left, but
okay.
It's in the notes. So yeah, so I thought it was a little bit interesting. And Warren Buffett is is puking HP stock. He's been shedding it since September. So yeah, he's selling off that and buying Occidental with the proceeds. What else is cooking? Tesla's in the news. Elon is picking fights with everybody. It's kind of interesting. There's a humanoid robot. We don't have to dive too deep into it. But there is a turf war between the electric F-150 and the Cybertruck, and it's hilarious. So there was a Cybertruck that got stuck, and then Ford got it sold out, and Ford's trying to.
That's funny.
Yeah, we were not talking shit. It just kind of happened.
There's news recent on Tesla's crash test that absolute disaster.
Yeah.
You might want to look at it sometime.
And all the sheet metal is very how do you say good for cleaving body parts.
yeah, sharp.
Yeah. And
but what I want to know about the Cybertruck is, where are you supposed to mount your gun rack?
inside.
No, that's the other lake I had.
And then electric Ford 150 production has been cut in half. It's just not selling well at all. Surprise. You cannot tow things under load very long on.
What do you mean? You're supposed to be able to tow a train with it
for like 10 feet. And then this was kind of cool. Raytheon's made a new kill vehicle that defeats ballistic missiles. They've had 50 space intercepts. It's kind of interesting. And Raytheon, what's their ticker again? RTX.
Yeah.
How are they doing? Could you
Raytheon's space technology to shoot down stuff? Isn't it reminiscent of one of those Marvel movies where there was a aircraft that shoots down people who have a different mindset?
RTN.
Oh, pardon me.
No,
Cola, what are you doing?
wrong. Sorry.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, it was RTX, I believe, right? RTN. No, you're right. All right, we got 15 minutes. I gotta fly. Okay, we got too many articles. Okay. What else? IBM is being a colossal dumbass. The CEO's like, no, we need like 13% Black people at the company, irregardless of qualifications. Like,
oh my God.
F that guy.
There's a funny thing about having doctors, quotas on doctors and how.
Oh, yeah. To be ultra racist, never pick a female Black doctor. You're gonna die. Pick the ugliest Asian doctor you can find. He knows his shit. Enough said. And then C3 AI is a bunch of bullshit. So and they're losing money like a mofo. And the founder is smoking crack. Yeah. And they're in Redwood City too. Yeah. So let's pull up their ticker.
30.
Yeah, and but they've had like compounding losses like crazy. This like they're not gonna have a good time. But yeah, so we'll keep our eye on that. To look at the labor unions, the labor sector, lots of layoffs. Nike, Wells Fargo, WAPO. Inside scoop, Wells Fargo is gearing up. They've allocated a lot of money to pay off major severances because there's a lot of like lifers at banks. And I have a bunch of friends that work there, but yeah, so you'll see a lot of shedding of weight there. And I'll probably rally the stocks nicely.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, McDonald's is also expanding AI operations. Obviously, it's going to be good for them. And let's look at Nike D's. MCD is having a good time. This kind of looks like the Boeing recovery a little bit. And then what else? Hasbro's not having a good time. Is Hasbro public? I don't know. Let's find out really quick. It is public. And how's it doing? It is not doing very well. It is having a hard time.
It's not too horrible.
Oh, yeah.
Considering.
Yeah. Reasonable. HAS. Okay. So that's Has. Pivoting to international news. So yeah, Ukraine is having a huge cyber attack courtesy of their Russian foes, and it's day 2 of internet and phone outages. And these are all beautiful high flyers. We don't have a lot of time to look at this, but they're all like very high and to the right. Let's just look at CrowdStrike really quick, since we got Ross here. I believe you're holding this, right? Very long. But yeah, it's just flying out there, and all of them are like this.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So
a doubling, isn't it? That's more than
all of these are. Just you guys take a look.
Wow.
They're all having great times. And then Argentina devalued the peso like a mofo, and austerity measures have begun. And we'll see if he doesn't get murdered in the next 60 days. And he shut down like multiple agencies, and yeah, it's grim austerity for the Argentinians. Cool. We talked about coffee. There are huge shortages. It's a 20-year low for Arabica coffee, and climate and geopolitical issues are not great for that. So short of trading coffee futures, what else can we do besides Starbucks? Starbucks doesn't. That's a little bit different. I'll have to think about that a little bit more.
Isn't Pete's Coffee publicly traded?
I don't think so.
They
No.
were acquired.
Yeah, it's P.
By
It
who?
was a PE play. Yeah,
I forgot.
Bros, BROS.
Bros.
Dutch brothers.
Yeah.
Dutch bros.
Interesting. Okay.
Oh yeah,
I heard
that's
that
an
also.
Oregon company.
Yeah. So the retail business and coffee inventories aren't necessarily the same thing. So just be careful. Yeah.
Coffee futures doesn't look like you just said. It's got a big U, and October was the low.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah.
150, it's one almost 90, and it was 150 in October.
Oh, okay.
There's also an ETF JO, but it's
Oh yeah, Joe.
Okay. All right, we got 11 minutes. Let's keep moving. We're not refilling the SPR. No surprises there. Who wants to refill it? And we looked at the data before, right? The SPR, the average price was $29 a barrel, and we have to refill it at the high rate of 70s, 80s, which is going to be painful.
Well, Biden's going to be gone by the time they start refilling. It'd be like 8
Well,
years from now.
Well, you mean then it falls on the Kamala or Dwayne Johnson or Oprah or whoever else they decide to cast.
Newsom's not going to fill it. I mean, let's be serious. That's the Democrat presidential candidate.
Yeah, but if Venezuela invades Guyana, we'll have some interesting good times here. But we'll keep our eyes on this. Yeah, cool. What else is happening? I thought this was really cool. Peter Schiff brought it up, and I looked it up. Like, what is 1 barrel of oil worth? And long story short, it represents a lot of BTUs, obviously, but what it really means is 7,000 hours of skilled labor. And at the average, wage, blah blah blah, every barrel of oil produces almost $200,000 worth of value. So oil is important. So no surprises there. I just thought this kind of a.
So the original article came from Zero Hedge?
No, Peter Schiff.
Okay.
Like Peter Schiff just.
I'm going to come back to this one. That's interesting.
Oh, okay, yeah.
For climate change people, I'd like to shove that down their throats until they die.
Yeah.
How many gallons in 1 barrel of oil?
45 gallons.
45 gallons.
55.
Barrel of oil.
No, it's 45.
5.
45, 55, what is it?
42?
It ranges, depends.
It's 44. That's
44. 44 gallons.
Yes.
That's not a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
That's
if
like
it's a
filling.
swimming pool.
That's like filling up two full-size cars.
All right, guys, we got 8
So a
minutes.
seal
8 minutes.
contract is
Guys,
1,000 barrels.
All right, we got 8 minutes, guys. We don't have time to talk about barrels of oil. All right, anyway, Chinese news. Fast forward. China is still holding below the $3,000 mark. China is in serious trouble. Like, it's just nothing but disaster and mayhem and infertility and insanity. So yes, the 3,000 watermark is the key level for the Shanghai index, and just everyone's in trouble. And let's fast forward to this. What else just happened? There was a huge EU summit hosted in Beijing last week. And nothing conclusive came out of it. No major joint statements, just a lot of showboating and dumb stuff. We talked about this earlier. There's a attempted military bribe that happened, and well, I mean, this tells us a lot, right? So for one, this has succeeded in the past for different items. So, you know, when all those, you know, airplanes and ships disappear for training exercises, like who knows where it's showing up. And what else? Xi Jinping visited Shanghai for the first time. He hasn't been there since 2020, and he's a super coward. He wouldn't visit because of COVID. He also wouldn't visit because it's the headquarters of the rival faction that's trying to kill him. All kinds of shenanigans. Oh yeah, briefly talk about Kissinger and Munger feedback. Kissinger is held relatively in high regard by the Chinese. I mean, he's been to China at over 100 times, and he opened up the door for Nixon and everyone else to come through. So he really wanted to open up the Chinese markets, and the commies love him. And then Munger has also been held high in well regard because he was a big capitalist that's bought into Alibaba and other companies. Also, like with his inputs, BYD had a huge stake from Berkshire Hathaway in the beginning. So Munger sees no problem in doing business with genocidal murderers, and so does Kissinger. Kissinger sells, you know, he's part of that. So obviously, I'm not big fans, but yeah. And then China is opening up and allowing a bunch of free visa agreements to a number of European countries to increase foreign trade and influx of foreigners and raise foreign foreign direct investment. And it's not working. No one cares. The business has collapsed. It's at like 3% of prior levels, like pre-COVID. It's a nightmare. It's collapsed. Like there's no foreigners in Asia. Like you got to be crazy to be there. We talked about Munger earlier, but yeah, he has his own fun daily journal, and he really likes Alibaba, blah blah blah, but it's not paid off very well. And then non-bank deposits in China have been very, very poor. So this is a nice barometer, and it's part of the money supply as well. But yeah, it's just at very, very low points overall. So capital and liquidity is drying up immediately. And here is some more data on the overall trend. And again, how much of this doctored, like who knows, but it's definitely a negative trend. And if anything, it's far worse than what people are mentioning. And more confirmation of the same. I can't read most of this. Let's see. Oh, fleeing. Lots of funds are fleeing China. So even though most of these CEO heads actually had dinner with Xi Jinping when they were all in San Francisco about 2.5 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, they're still pulling money out like crazy. So talk is cheap. At the end of the day, China can't pay its bills and has no confidence for investors. And then what else? Let's look at businesses have collapsed. This is the loss rate for the number of businesses, at least in China. But again, these are official figures. What's the actual figures? Who knows? Yeah. But yeah, even the Europeans are pulling out. The Carrefour markets are all closed. They're pulling out of all the tier 1 cities. There's only like a handful remaining, I believe, and they're just in liquidation mode. And I've seen a number of conflicting figures, but I believe the current vacancy rate for Shanghai is 20% for commercial real estate. And that's the official figure. It'll be getting worse. The richest, most expensive school district has gone down in price from $200,000 RMB per square meter to less than 100,000. It is a total collapse of the real estate market. And this is where most of the net worth of China is buried in. And people are definitely in trouble. And just just the overall slowdown and year-to-year decline of the secondhand market as well has been a disaster. Okay, now fast forwarding to the Taiwanese election coming up on January the 13th. So Taiwan's done really well overall in surviving COVID because they're very fearful of China. And there's a couple major parties coming up, and the traditional KMT guys, they're very pro-China. They, if anything, they want to even import unemployed Chinese workers and give them Taiwanese jobs. But the Taiwanese are pushing back, like, what the hell? We also want our own jobs. We can't just give to the Chinese bastards. So the youth are extremely unhappy with this group. And then the incumbents, it's the DPP group, it's the white group, and they're a little bit more antsy in not playing nice with China. And then there's also a green group too, which is also on the sidelines. And then our Foxconn mofo, what's his name, Mr. Guo, he's pulled out. So he was dividing the pro-China vote apparently, and he didn't want to do that anymore. So he divided. So most folks want these like these parties to win, and it's up to the youth vote apparently, and they have a fairly high turnout compared to Americans, like 70%. But yeah, we'll see how this election shapes up. What else? Major grifting by officials. Only 80 million people consume over half of the state budget, and it's insane. In some provinces, it's like 5 residents supporting 1 party official. It's like that bad. And ageism is really bad in China. For the tech scene, if you're over 35, you're fired. And for delivery food drivers, if you're over 45, you're also fired. It's pretty dirty. So yeah, and then to go back to our Chinese charts, I got 30 seconds. But yeah, it's formed a nice, it's finding support at the 23 level here on the bottom. But yeah, we're all kinds of fun times for Chinese stocks coming up. Let me check chats. Has it brought bills? I'll leave the room open so you guys can hang out and chat, but I definitely have to run now. Let me export the notes since we made some modifications, and then I will leave you guys to it. Cool, so that's our slightly shorter session today. So thank you guys for hanging out with me, and I wish I could spend a little bit more time, but I gotta jump into a meeting. So I'll catch you guys after or on Discord.
We'll see you Saturday then.
Cool. Yeah, I'll see you guys Saturday morning. All right. Thanks, guys.
Later.
Take care, guys.
Thanks.
I got
See you
3
later.
seconds. Let me finish uploading, and then let me set a new host really quick. Here, Rob, I'll make you co-host, and Kurt too. Cool. Also, all right. Notes uploaded. I gotta run. All right. Take care, guys.